Good morning, and a third good morning to all of you all. Welcome to Barbados, welcome to the Rock, and welcome to another daybreak in paradise, in my heaven, and lots of our homes. Just to let you all know, we have some serious sun this morning, so darker makers from early, please. Without a question of a doubt, I am a little bit late because I was captured again by the beautiful photos that I was trying to capture for you later on today. You know, good morning to all of you all, and here we go. Darker makers on. Woohoo! What a beautiful, beautiful day. To all you surfers out there, the north is starting to swing. You can see the angle on it. There's definitely a little bit of north in the swell. So if you all are ready for some surf, I am sure there's surf somewhere. Conditions are perfect, but there's definitely a little north in the angle. So maybe Soup Bowl again today. Not sure if it'll get on the west coast. You know, good morning to all of you all. And I know it's a glaring sunrise, but we're going to say our serenity prayer right here. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not ours, be done. Amen. Good morning to you all. We're picking up exactly where we left off last time. Alright, last time I was down here, I told you all about seasonal beaches. However, as I've told you all since then, all the people to the north, like, they're real proud of everything called sand. So as they got sand in a little pocket, they've got a name for it, some beach or the other. So we're going to do it, and we're going to do it with a little more information than we had last time. So hopefully everything will be smooth this morning and beautiful. We shouldn't get any cell interruptions because there's cell chambers all around where we are, or cell towers. So let us start going. Alright, now just above here, the little bay that we were at last time, that I told you all, little seasonal beach. They actually have a name for that. It's called Laycocks Bay. That's just above this point here. That's where we've been through already. So we want to start where we're starting from. And where we are is called Chandler Bay. So as I mentioned before, this is a great place to come and do a little swimming when the conditions are right. Not swimming, cooling off. You can come in here, but you have to wear beach shoes for sure, because there's a lot of coral on the bottom. Right now you don't want to come in here because all the sargassum is old and decaying and stuff. So it's definitely not nice to swim in. But under conditions like maybe around, I guess, high season, December, January, etc. Unless there's a north swell, which you don't want to be fooling around here in the north swell because you get pulled out. Down here should be relatively clean and beautiful. I know last time I was here it was pristine, didn't have any sargassum in here at all. And I've actually been in here numerous times, but as I said, beach shoes are absolutely necessary for here. Alright, we're going to start our walk along the cliff line. It is stunning out here today. We have a beautiful little north swell running. For sure, you can see the angle on it. It's definitely counting north. Has some size on it as well. And it's got the entire coastline smoked out with sea spray. Just beautiful. Alright, we go a little further on the cliff before I do my 360, but just to give you a scan inland to see what is around here as well. Alright, now I'm not be calling all the names of the little seasonal beaches as I call them en route. So I just let you know that along the same cliff here, there are many. They have one called Nans Bay, Kings Bay, Goat House Bay, Jones Bay, and then we get down there to the River Bay. But they're all in between here. I'll show you the sand areas and where the sand gathers. And as for the names of them, well, you know, you can always check them out on the map if you would like. But I call them seasonal beaches. They're not beaches that you can go on and swim. But they're certainly ones that you can climb down and visit if you want to check something different. Again, recommendations of low tide. And again, most definitely not when it is rough. For sure, not when there's a swell running. You don't want to be anywhere down on the lower sections of these cliffs, along the actual ledges that you can see in the distance, which are walkable in low tide when it's calm. You don't want to be out there when there's a swell around, because you will get pulled off of these cliffs in the blink of an eye. Wouldn't have a clue it's going to happen, and the swell could come out of sight that you're not familiar with or they're not expecting and pull you off of there. And there's no escape. When you get down these lower elevations, it's either where you came from or the other end, and the other end is usually far away, so you can't just run 5 yards and hop up a cliff, because it doesn't happen that way out here, as you can see. Beautiful. Beautiful. Completely different to last time we were here. Last time we were over here, it was calm, and we were talking about how rough it gets and stuff. Still not as rough as I've seen it. Many times I've been here and seen it coming up over cliffs, but check the blowholes in operation today. Just beautiful. Now just up in the corner there, that last point you're seeing, that is where you go around into Little Bay. Just gives you an indication of where we are at the moment. Just beautiful conditions. Surfers, alright, you all have a look at this swell. You all can see the angle is definitely northerly, and you all can see there's definitely a surf here. This is not the set. I'll come back to that in a little while when the set starts to come in. Beautiful, beautiful Barbados. I'm going to go a little further up onto this point here that I can give you the full 360. Get ready to catch your breath, because the northern cliff out here, if you've not seen it before, is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. As you can see, we have a cell tower in the distance, so we shouldn't have any issues out here with signal strength today. And up on the top ridge up there, you know, is Date Tree Hill. We've been up there before. We did a video around that Casuarina Grove that you're seeing up there on the top of the hill. And that's further back in my collection. However, a lot of these places we did without the gimbal before, so we will probably redo some of them again in the future, just at a better stability and clearness, hopefully. But beautiful, beautiful day. When I got the truck this morning, man, I had to stand up and just watch everything first, and then I started grabbing for the camera because the sun started to come up. You can appreciate I'm on the other side of the island, and it took me a while to get here. I would say about 40 minutes, somewhere around there. But it wasn't bad, you know, nobody was on the road, clear traffic, and I left home at the dot of 5 o'clock. So very, very little traffic on the road this morning, no obstructions whatsoever, straight path. I'm purposely showing you the sun in that angle because I don't want you to see below yet. Not until I get to my 360 location, so I'm going to keep pointing up the coastline for you. I know some of you are familiar with this, some of you have been on different off-roading tours and stuff, and I'm sure some of you have explored. I know there's some serious explorers in our group. So this should interest you for sure if you've not been out here. All right, let us do our first silent 360. Enjoy the view. Just stunning. All right, this is one of the smaller sets that are coming in now for those who are definitely surfers amongst us. So you can see there's definitely a solid swell on. You're hearing how powerful it is, and you're seeing how it's splashing up all along this cliff area as well. Just beautiful, beautiful conditions. Glassed off. Perfect. All right, we're going to continue our stroll in a northerly direction along this coastline here, the cliffs. We're going to stay as close as possible that we can do in safety level as we're walking this cliff area. But what I'm going to do for a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds or whatever is let you enjoy some of this piece. So let us enjoy this peace and quiet until my mouth decides that it wants a piece of the action as well. Here we go. Okay, mouth time. Sorry. All right, again, I'm going to just show you here, and I'm going to lean over a little bit and use the gimbal to my advantage. But you can see how all of this cliff here is overhanging. So directly in front of me, if I were to walk any closer to the cliff, I'll just show you all, just because you all are concerned about safety sometimes, how far back I am from the cliff. Just to show you, all right? So you are realizing now that I am a good 4 feet from the cliff itself. But all of this area here, I would say about a foot of it is eroded underneath this point. So you don't want to be out here stepping close to this cliff to get a good photo. Leave the good photo, step back a little bit, get the best you can and call that it, because you want to be able to enjoy the photo as well. You don't want to take it and let someone then find your camera and enjoy it for you. I mean, pretty serious and blunt, because I don't want you to be fooling around on these cliffs at all. These cliffs are not that safe. As you can see, there's not much actual coral in it. Well, there's coral, but it's made up of a lot of fragments of coral. I don't know if I don't have a clue what happened at Ernie North, but it seems as though it didn't get a chance to actually develop itself into full coral reef as it came out of the water. So I'm not too sure. That's just speculation, of course. But I don't know, it's one of the things that just popped to mind. It's beautiful out here, really beautiful out here. I love the natural cliffs of this section here, and I love that there's really no development along this cliff area. You know, that is so important on this side of the island, this and the east coast of the island. We don't need any development in there at all, that's for sure. Just look at the power of these waves that are coming in this morning though. Lots of power. Unfortunately, we have a lot of sargassum still. Not too sure what's going on there. Anyhow, if you are following it, this is, I believe, it's called Nans Bay. I'm not 100% sure if this is it, because they may have shifted in time, but because of it's being a cove area, I would imagine that they have named this area, because I know for sure sand does trap on this elevation. Not a lot of it, and not for very long, but at certain times of the year it certainly does. And take a stroll onward. Now, a lot of these bays you can get down to. They're little areas that the water has cut out. And also there's some ladders, which I'll show you shortly as well, that some fishermen have put down, and some people in the area, that they can get down to this lower cliff and fish from along here. Just lovely, lovely cliffs of Barbados. You know, I do love this section of the island, and I know for sure my girl loves out here. You know, when I brought her across the cliffs here for the first time, she was just in awe, total awe. That day was huge swells as well. I remember that quite clearly. We can be looking behind us, but as you can appreciate, you may need two pairs of darker makers today. One to darken up the second pair, for sure. Out here is brilliant. You can drive all along here. I have not driven out here because I am parking at our destination. I used to do that usually on a day, so when we finish, I'm pretty close to the vehicle, because I have other stuff I have to go and do when I leave here. So I usually do that normal. But that is where we'll be going to, as far as you can see the war wagon there for today. But lovely, lovely. But you can see the roads that are out here. But I have done this here numerous times in all types of cars before I had my war wagons, before the number one war wagon came along. And I made it very easy. You just have to take your time, because out here there is not level. There are a lot of areas that project up as well, so you have to be careful you don't hit the undercarriage of the vehicle. You have to spawn it well. You have to be very careful when you're coming across here. So I would recommend not coming out here unless you have a 4x4. And even so, if you are coming out here, please stay far back from the cliff. Stay on the road that you see. And another point of interest and mention is, if there's rain or we've had excessive rain, do not come out here, please, because out here it gets really, really mucky. I know you're seeing a lot of rocks and stuff in the soil that we are seeing here, so you would assume that it's not going to get very muddy and thing, but there's a lot of mud between where we're standing and where you come out here from, the entrance to this cliff. There are three ways to this cliff. There's one that comes through the river by River Bay. Haven't been through that probably for about maybe 6 years or 7 years or so. But I used to drive through the river and come across here. And then there are two other ones. I think there's one in Coconut Hall, and then there's just one before you get to the Pike Corner area, or in Pike Corner itself. So there are three entrances. They're all Cart Road entrances. They're all rough roads. And as I said, if it's raining, they're definitely tow truck roads, for sure. And it's going to be very costly, because to get a tow truck out here is not going to be cheap. You don't want the inconvenience of being stuck out here either. So you can see that the area there does build sand in one section here. Not a lot of sand, just coverage. You can see the sand above in a little bay section. And that's how here would be coated. But, you know, they give everything out here a name. The folks up north are most definitely proud of their coast, that's for sure. It's a beautiful morning. Lots of sargassum. You can see the fresh float here. We know the south coast is hammered with it. I was up there this week at Miami Beach, or at least over the weekend at Miami Beach, and it was pretty dense up there for sure. And then again, also coming down towards the Carib and thing, they also have quite a bit out there as well. Just lovely. All right, I can let you listen to some more of these sounds for a minute till we get a little further on. Not sure how big this swell is going to get. You know, it's playing. It seems to be really playing with a lot of people's hearts. They expected something huge yesterday. It's been dinkering around, but there's definitely a swell there. I mean, if you want to surf, there's surf for sure over East Coast, without a doubt. Not sure if it's gone on to the west yet. That is a possibility because there's quite a bit of north on this here now compared to before. I don't see any west swing in it, but some north. All right, this is called Kings Beach. This is, sorry, Kings Bay. My apologies, I don't know, not Kings Bay, Kings Beach, Kings Bay. So this whole section here, as I said, they have names for all of these. You know, not years ago, when I started these vlogs and I started doing footage out here, I have quite a few of them out there in the higher resolution of this area, or a couple of them. I just mentioned them as seasonal beaches. I did not have a clue that these had names. And when I go on to the new maps, there are no names on them. I had to dig up an old detailed map to find a lot of information on some of these areas and get the names for you. Here again is another example of the overhangs here. Yeah, you don't want to be messing anywhere in these cliffs. And as you can see, that's not solid, it looks more shaly. So you don't want to be stepping on that for sure. Let's keep safety always as the number one thing to be careful of out here, or anywhere you are on this island. This is the road that comes in here. You can see it's gravelly, mainly gravelly, but the front section is a lot of mud. And under this gravel section, there's a mixture of a lot of mud as well. So just be very wary out here. And you don't want to be, there's some areas that gather water because you can appreciate some of it is coral bottom, so it doesn't go anywhere in a hurry. So there's some pool areas that could be very dangerous and treacherous for you if you're coming out here in a car. You can actually walk this cliff, you know, maybe park by Little Bay, walk in direction of River Bay, or you could even park in River Bay and do it in the other direction. Or this goes right around to Animal Floor Cave, these cliffs. You can do a long walk if you like, or you can break it up in sections as we're going to do today. Darker makers for sure, folks. So you'll see why we walk generally in a westward direction this time of morning, and that is because of the intense sun and stuff. You don't want to be facing that all the time. So most of our walks, as you would see, are walking in the westward direction, northward or westward. As promised, I'm going to stay as close to the cliff as possible for you. There are lots of foot tracks out here because a lot of residents walk this area and a lot of fishermen use these cliffs. Very, very popular catching areas. So a lot of people drive out here as well. Now you don't see the PVC tubing. I don't know how come we don't see any of that out here, but it is definitely very popular. Every time I've been here, I've seen fishermen on the lower level, upper level, all over. All right, so we talked about ladders and stuff. So this is Kings Bay, and this is the way down to this one. Now, even if there's no ladder at some of these here, you can get down to them. I've been down to quite a few of these here in the past. But this is, as you can see, is quite a popular way down to this lower elevation. And then they walk around here and fish. So you can see it has been used quite often in the past. So much so they have their own ladder for it. Just lovely. If you're not a nature person, I know you're going to have difficulty in watching these vlogs because this is basically just nature and beautiful natural, you know, growth of the island and stuff that we're going to be enjoying along this section of the island. But just lovely. Now this beach does get quite a bit bigger. I've actually been here when I would say that most of these rocks here are under sand. So I have been here with a lot of sand. You can actually see the lighter shade of where sand would be built up on that boulder just on the inside by us. Right, that is where you would have had sand at one stage of the game. Just lovely out here. You can see that this is a shelf, a coral shelf similar to what we would have seen. That's a little further up the coastline as well. But there is sand that settles on it. So I call these here just seasonal beaches. I really don't have, there are bays on the map, but there are seasonal beaches. These would not be here all year round. I'm really sorry that it wasn't, say, another 10 or 15 foot bigger out here, because that is when it really starts to blow your mind, because it lines up in one line. But don't worry, fear not. As long as God gives me strength and God gives me life, we'll be back out here, and we will do it when it gets extreme again for you ready to take it in. You know, we're going to show you all of Barbados, and all of Barbados means you just don't pass the beach and show you it once, because conditions change it, especially rough sea conditions. So we'll be taking that in. As I mentioned, we've done, I would say, close to maybe 80% of the coastline, or maybe a little higher than that already in our walks. About 80%. We have quite a bit still to go, but long stretches like Morgan Lewis and the East Coast and stuff. And we have some more northwestern cliffs as well. But we will be redoing different places. I won't be doing them one after the other, of course. I'll try and put like 2 or 3 months in between. Or if the conditions change enough that warrant us to come back and have a look at it, I'll be back the next day if necessary. That's not a problem. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright, again, the furthest point you're seeing there is just the northerly point at Little Bay itself. That's where you'd walk around to look up through the hole from the north side. That is, to me, the best scenic point there, because you can look right along the lower ledge of Little Bay. Again, I'm going to recommend low tide. Anytime you're doing out here, I mean, obviously, if you start off your tour at lowish tide and you're really doing a comprehensive tour, you're going to come into high tide. But I would recommend anything that you want to see in this island on the coastline, that you try and time it with a low tide if possible. And I wouldn't wait like beastly hours like for out here around 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because out here is dry and it's hot as France. So, you know, I would time that again. You just have to be wary of what you're doing. But this island is a playground for you. It is filled with unseen beauty that you've probably never seen in your life before when you've been visiting here. I know there are some serious explorers in this group, and I appreciate that and I respect that for sure. But I know one thing for sure is that you haven't seen it all. I can guarantee you that for sure. Lots of fishermen and stuff this morning out here on the cliffs. Just again, how are you going, man? You good? All's well? All's well? Alright, man, have a good day, huh? Yeah, so you guys all getting ready. Looking for some big catches today? Are you looking for some big catches today? Yeah, man. The world is saying good morning to you, sir. Okay, take care. Have a blessed day, huh? Alright, man. Cool, man. You see, that's a serious cricketer. He even got his fishing line wrapped around a cricket bat. So, that's a man that leaves home and can play all types of sports when he's ready. Jeez. Let's go fishing, and if there are no fish, let's play some cricket on the cliffs for sure. It's beautiful out here, though. Whew, goodness. Again, I'm going to take you as close as possible. Now, these are the lower elevations that we talk about all the time. I am definitely going to be doing a high-res video from on there for sure, here and all around by Little Bay and stuff. But as you can appreciate, these are not the days you want to do it. I would do this here when it's definitely a super calm day, no winds, and really, really good. Alright, somewhere along here there's the Goat House Bay, remember that? And also Jones Bay. I do know of one other area that catches sand that I am familiar with along here, but I guess there's more than one. But we'll do a little more walk again. This was a very popular picnic spot, believe it or not. Under these trees here, because of the wind, the way it's blown, it's built like a spoiler. Coming from the north side or the west side, you can come right up under these trees in this beautiful shaded area. So I've seen a lot of families come out here. And in the past, when I've had like public bank holidays in Barbados, long weekends, I've seen people come out here and set up their tents and stuff. So it is a very popular area. It's hard to get to if it's raining and stuff, but behind there is blocked from the wind, blocked from the sea spray, and has lots of shade. Really, really nice spot. You'll notice all the trees on this section here are all blown towards the northwest. You know, that's just because the continuous winds are coming off the east side of the island. But look at these swells today. It's just beautiful. I don't even want to guesstimate how big that is, but it's, you know, I just really don't. But it's got some size on it for sure. It's not the biggest that we have seen out here, nor the biggest that we will see coming up in the future, but it definitely has a size on it. And as you notice, a hurricane swell. So the power of this here is intense for sure. Okay, the war wagon is crying for clean. So any of you all that have nothing doing today, please give me a call on IM. Oh boy. Beautiful coastline. Now we're going to do this section. This is where we sort of like end this one here today. And that's because our next section will carry us from here to River Bay. Is approximately the same length, maybe a little bit longer than what we've walked, but beautiful. The whole cliff changes as you're walking. You know what I mean? It could, some people may think that it's monotonous, it's cliff and cliff, but the views, the angle of the sunlight, the way that the cliff, all the shadows in cliff have opened up because of the rising sun, you know, all of the sea spray, everything is just spectacular, just beautiful. But again, look at the face of these cliffs. These are nothing like the east coast or the southeast side of the island. They're all solid, solid, solid coral. This is just fragments of coral that never seem to have matured into anything. You do see little coral heads in between, and the ones you're seeing on the beach is sort of like a replica of what is on top of the cliff. All the weaker matter has been eaten out from around them, and just remaining is the actual coral itself. So I don't really know how come up here has survived the onslaught of the huge swells that have been hitting here over years, with the kind of surface it is, unless it rose quickly. But I don't really know too much about it. So if there's anybody that has any kind of information or any insight that can let us know and build our knowledge on it, please share it with us. But this is beautiful. So we've covered another section again. We've had a beautiful, beautiful morning. We've really had some fantastic views, brilliant sunlight. The darker makers were put to the test again. And in the distance, you can see the rocks just out there in the water. That's off a River Bay area, which we will go into. I don't know what the sea conditions will be like when we get there. If it is calm, you may see a turtle or so along the cliff, because I have seen quite a few in the past. And if it's not, well, you're going to see some stunning big waves coming through. Beautiful, beautiful morning. All right, so we're going to do a little 360 from this point here. Let's see, could we walk to the next point? Yeah, I guess we could. We're going to walk to the next point, and then we'll start back from there next time. Sorry, I don't feel like stopping yet. I haven't had my daily exercise. And it's still nice and chilly. So, yeah, it's like only about 28 degrees right now. We're expecting a 31 today. Yesterday was a corker. I mean, you sit in front of a fan and still sweat. That's the kind of way it becomes at this time of the year. The humidity levels go up. I don't know if you all know, but those who travel here like in October will know very much about the humidity, because you get the very light winds. This time, anytime around now, like late September, September into October, you know, we get a lot of build-up of moisture, like on the opposite side of where the wind's coming from, because the winds are usually very, very light. So if you get in easterly wind, the west coast, you get a southeasterly wind. The northwest coast will build up convection through the day and get some very heavy rains in the afternoon time usually. Or it can even drift back in as well. It all depends on the wind flows, but this time of year is the real humidity time and heating. Now, I have been down to this beach before, for sure. And the climb down is just from right here in the rock, actually the second one over. But you have to take your time and be very careful. Again, remember, if you're coming over here and you're leaving your vehicle on top of this cliff and you're climbing down to these beaches, there's no way that you can see your vehicle. So park it in clear visibility, as you've seen me do this morning, where it sort of like removes the temptation of anyone to have a look and see what is inside of that vehicle. So just remember that as well. That's important when you're here in Barbados or anywhere that you travel. Just remember that there are some people that may like your vehicle more than you. All right, now this is called Jones Bay, and this is the last of the bays that we're going to see today. As I said, you can climb down to this beach in various sections. There is one area there that you can work your way down, but you have to climb. As you note the word climb, it's not a walk down like steps or anything. It's a good piece of climbing in it. But it's beautiful. But again, don't go down on these here, please, when the sea conditions are very, very rough. All right, I don't want to take you to that point, because then you're going to see some of the cliff that we will be taking in next time, because from there you can see right down to River Bay, and I'm going to save that for our next trip. So I'll do our 360 from here. So enjoy this, people. Last time we did a clockwise, yeah. So we can do anti-clockwise this time. just gorgeous. Gorgeous coastline, gorgeous flat plateau over here. It's just absolutely gorgeous down here. And I guess you all are seeing the peace and quiet that I'm experiencing. But what you're not, or may not be smelling, is the strong sea spray and these winds and the freshness of the air down here. It is absolutely lovely over here this morning. The spray on the cliffs, you can see how much sea spray is coming up. You're actually tasting it and smelling it and feeling it on the body. All right, I like to share little things with you all about examples of how God works and stuff. So I will tell you, yesterday I was feeling a little bit down. I don't know what happened in the morning, but I wasn't feeling 100% motivated and stuff. I know it's so strange. After I did my pictures and I came up the hill from Barbados, there was a gentleman on top there with his 2 sons. And out of the blue, he spoke to me and said to me how they follow our videos every morning and how he and his son explore all of Barbados with us in a day. And you know, he was so motivating to me, all of his comments and about how, you know, the spirituality that we bring and the positiveness we bring. And you know, he just kept reminding me, don't let anything sway you from your message. You know, you keep on track. You know, it's as though God put him there for me yesterday morning to tell me, Nicholas, you need to hear something positive, and this person is going to help you through it. And out of the blue he came. I had just finished telling my angel about how I was feeling a little bit down and stuff. And as soon as I finished talking to him, I had to pick up the phone and relay that to her, because that was as though God had said, I'm going to put this gentleman here for you today to go on. You know, he told me, don't worry about it. You just keep doing your vlogs. You just keep building your family and everything will be fine. You don't worry about it. So we had a really good conversation, and his sons were, I would say, maybe 10 and 12 in that kind of age frame. And they were just so interested in the conversation and, you know, the videos and vlogs and stuff. You know, that tells me a lot. It tells you we just don't cater to one age group. We cater to them all. It tells me that it's local or international people that follow what we do. And it shows you how important what we do is to everyone in this world. So let's continue doing what we set forward to do every day. And that's bring peace and happiness and joy and love to everyone. And let us just continue to show how positive we are and show that there's hope in this world. If we stick together, we can do this. Separated, we are weak. Together, we are invincible. So everyone have a fantastic day. Remember to give thanks for everything that you have. Thank God for your life and for everything that is around you. And you continue to spread your peace and love to everyone. Thanks very much. You have a clean slate today. You know what you can do with that. Keep it nice and tidy. No eraser marks at the end of the day. I wish. But you all know we're all going to have eraser marks at the end of the day, because we're not perfect and only God is perfect. So he will forgive us. Forgive yourself. Have a wonderful day. And remember, love yourself. If you can't love yourself, you cannot love others. So start at home. Have a great day, everyone. Love from Barbados. All my best wishes and all my blessings. Take care and have a great day.